All right, welcome to this explainer, where we are going to take you step by step from executing your very first Grok API query all the way to orchestrating fully secure enterprise-grade pipelines. The AI landscape is moving at a blistering pace right now, and XAI has rapidly evolved Grok from a fun consumer curiosity into an absolute enterprise powerhouse. Look, whether you're hacking together a quick weekend project or deploying multi-agent systems for a Fortune 500 company, knowing how to leverage these developer tools, it's no longer optional. It's totally essential. We're going to unpack the code-level setup, the multimodal capabilities, and those crucial security protocols you need to know. We've got a lot of ground to cover to turn you into a power user, so let's jump right in.
Here is our boot sequence for today. First, setup and first query. Second, think mode and deep search. Then we'll hit Aurora Image Gen, Imagine Video Gen, and wrap it all up with enterprise security.
Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, Setup and First Query. Let's bypass the standard consumer stuff and plug directly into the matrix.
So there is a massive leap from casual chatting on social media to harnessing the raw, high-throughput power of programmatic access. The consumer interfaces, the X app or Grok.com, they're fantastic for everyday questions or a quick one-off debugging session, but they are inherently rate-limited. When you're building actual applications, you absolutely need the developer API at api.x.ai. This is where the magic happens. For just $3 per 1 million input tokens, you get unthrottled access to Grok's flagship models. This distinction is super important because unthrottled API access is what actually lets you build sophisticated, autonomous agents without hitting some annoying timeout error every 10 minutes. It's built to scale.
Setting this up is incredibly simple. First, you just export your XAI API key directly into your terminal environment. By keeping the key in your environment variables, you make sure your credentials stay out of your source code. It's a best practice we all know, but hey, we all occasionally forget during late-night coding sessions, right? Second, you structure your curl request to hit the v1/responses endpoint, passing along your JSON payload. The second you hit enter, Grok streams the response back at a blistering 207 tokens per second. At that speed, it's practically instantaneous. I mean, it's literally faster than human reading comprehension. That gives an incredibly smooth, real-time experience for your end users and completely kills those awkward loading spinners in your UI.
Right, so now that our connection is live, let's upgrade the model's brain. Section 2, Think Mode and Deep Search.
Think mode is a total paradigm shift. It doesn't just spit out an answer. It actually exposes its underlying logic. When you activate Think mode, Grok utilizes an extended chain of thought reasoning path. It takes a moment to literally deliberate, breaking down the problem step by step before handing you the final output. Now, knowing when to use this is key. Actually, scratch that. It's absolutely crucial. If you're just asking the API to write a simple Python script, standard mode is totally fine. But if you're debugging a multi-layered recursive algorithm or asking it to solve multivariable calculus for a physics engine, oh yeah, you want to trigger Think mode. It trades just a fraction of a second of latency for a massive increase in logical accuracy.
And what if your app requires rigorous, heavy-duty research? Well, you trigger Deep Search. This executes a brilliant multi-step loop behind the scenes. It kicks off with query analysis and planning to figure out exactly what's missing. Then, it uniquely taps directly into the X firehose. And guys, this is a massive competitive advantage. Instead of relying purely on static, potentially outdated training data, your API call is hitting real-time sentiment, breaking news, and live global conversations alongside standard web searches. It then actively scores those sources for credibility to filter out the junk. Finally, it synthesizes a comprehensive answer with inline citations. You're basically embedding a fully automated, real-time research assistant straight into your backend. With the reasoning engine sorted out, it's time to unlock the creative sandbox. Section 3, Aurora Image Gen. Aurora is XAI's proprietary text-to-image model. What's fantastic here is how it lets developers precisely control their unit economics. Because, let's be honest, the quickest way to kill a weekend project is a surprise cloud bill. If you hit the standard Grok Imagine image model, you're looking at a flat rate of just 2 pennies per image. And that holds true whether you're generating at 1K or 2K resolution. It's incredibly optimized for rapid asset generation. But if your app demands top-tier photorealism, maybe for an e-commerce platform, you just switch to the quality endpoint. That scales the cost up to 5 cents for 1K and 7 cents for a 2K image. It's a beautifully transparent system that lets you dial in the exact speed versus quality trade-off you need.
But they didn't just stop at static images. Section 4, Imagine Video Gen, Dynamic Motion Creation.
Elon Musk actually described this capability as an AI vine, and that hits the nail on the head. You can generate bite-sized, highly dynamic visual clips from simple text prompts. Think about the implications here for a minute. With a single API call, you aren't just getting text or a static JPEG. You're rendering actual, moving video content complete with audio. Imagine building a social media app that dynamically renders custom animated video clips based on trending topics. No way could you do that this easily before. It completely redefines programmatic content creation without needing a massive server farm of specialized GPUs.
Now, if you want longer content, you can use the Video Extend feature to seamlessly stitch these API calls together to create up to 30 seconds of continuous high-def video. And budgeting for this is highly predictable. Standard generation at 720p HD runs about 7 cents per second. To put that into perspective, generating a crisp 10-second custom video clip costs you exactly 70 cents. For developers and product managers, this predictable per-second billing is a lifesaver. You know exactly what your features will cost before you ever push the code to production.
Okay, finally, we reach the absolute most critical stage, locking down the perimeter. Section 5, Enterprise Security.
At the enterprise level, the deployment architecture is specifically designed to route highly complex operations while maintaining massive, secure throughput. The Grok core engine sits right at the center, pushing inference optimizations outward to cloud infrastructure, localized edge devices like Tesla bots, and dedicated enterprise API systems. It's a highly modular design. Whether you're doing low-latency robotics inference on a factory floor or heavy document analysis in a corporate data center, the whole shebang scales securely to meet those demands.
Let's talk about the #1 hesitation Fortune 500 companies have with AI. Data leakage. It's a real fear. To mitigate this, the Enterprise Vault ensures your code and data remain completely isolated. By utilizing customer-managed encryption keys, or CMEK, your organization literally holds the keys to the kingdom. XAI cannot read your data. If you're feeding highly sensitive financial records, patient data, or proprietary source code into the model, the Vault guarantees that information stays entirely within your control. It's a zero-trust environment built for absolute peace of mind.
To guarantee this total isolation, Grok stacks a rigorous set of security protocols. You get full SOC 2 compliance, you have SIM directory sync for seamlessly managing user access across large teams, you get comprehensive audit logs to track exactly who prompted what and when. But honestly, the best part? There is a default ironclad policy that your data is never, ever used to train future Grok models. Your data remains yours, period. With protocols like these, IT leaders can confidently deploy multi-agent workflows without losing sleep over exposing trade secrets.
Well, you've completed the boot sequence. We've gone from exporting that initial API key to routing complex logic through think mode and deep search. We've looked at programmatically generating photorealistic images and stitching together dynamic HD video, all while wrapping the entire pipeline in impenetrable, enterprise-grade security. The barrier to entry for building world-class AI applications has practically vanished. The tools are blazing fast, the pricing is transparent, and the capabilities are just off the charts. So the only question left for us today is, what paradigm-shifting application are you going to build first?